Assalamu alaikum and good morning everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Layla and today I'm going to be walking you through my May TBR while I kind of get ready to have like a busy productive day today. It is Sunday, so one of my friends and I are going to be hanging out on Zoom today around 1 o'clock to kind of get some productivity stuff done. We've both been kind of busy with jobs and stuff like that, so we wanted to take today to kind of work on our blogs and stuff. And if you are a social worker, you should definitely go check her out. Her blog is Balancing the Healer and the Human. It's on WordPress, so you can check it out there. She's a good friend of mine. Her name is Sarah. So yeah, we're going to hang out around 1. I do have a lot to get done today, so I'm hoping to sit down and kind of do a kind of like get ready with me style TBR to talk about what I'm going to be reading this month. So if I'm not looking at the camera, that would be why, because I'll be looking down here at my mirror in front of me and also the list that I have for my TBR. It's not very extensive, and I am not a makeup artist by any means, just to let you all know. So I am just going to get ready the way that I would anyway. And if you're seeing this video, it means I actually like the way that the makeup came out. So there's that, but we're going to go ahead and get started now. So the first thing that's up for me to read this month is actually going to be A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. That is our the Sinister Sisters book club pick for this month, so we'll be reading that during the month of May. You probably will have seen that post up on our social media by now, but we're really excited to read it. It's the first time we're reading a romance novel for our book club, so it's really exciting to kind of get to pick that up, especially considering obviously I'm a romance writer. It is, like I said, a Hades Persephone retelling in the modern world. I actually did not recommend the book for this month. My sister Bree did, so we gotta like had like a momentary panic when May was coming up, because I don't think any of us really thought about the fact that May was gonna be here so fast. So we really didn't have a book to pick out until like the last second. I'm kind of excited because it's been on my TBR. I have read King of Battle and Blood, which was really good, by Scarlett St. Clair. So I'm kind of excited to see this one, especially because I love Greek mythology. So we'll see how that goes. The next book on my TBR list is actually a book that's been on my TBR for several years now. And I feel bad that I haven't gotten to it yet, because everybody loves it so much. And that is Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. I obviously haven't put it on my TBR lately, but it has been there on my shelves waiting to be read. It is one of the 12 books that I want to read this year that I already own, and you can check that blog post out on my website, where I talk about all the books that I already own that I wanted to read this year, especially because one of my goals is to try and read more of the books that I already own this year. So I'm really excited to get into that. I honestly have no idea what it's about anymore. It's been that long that it's been sitting on my TBR. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to it though, but don't remember what it's about. The next thing I kind of want to try to read this month is An Ember in the Ashes. And if you follow my blog, you know An Ember in the Ashes was actually on my books that I wanted to read last year list, which I read one of, I think, maybe 2. So I was really bad at keeping up with that last year. So that's making a comeback onto my TBR. I, again, don't remember much about the series except that it's written by Sabaa Tahir. Another goal for the month of May, kind of like in March where I was trying to tackle some of the books from my book boxes. I kind of want to try and tackle my currently reading shelf on Goodreads, because there's a lot of books on it that I'm in the middle of that I just haven't had the time to like go back and finish, or like I put down because it wasn't really like the right time for me to read them, or I was just kind of not like emotionally invested. not saying that they're bad books or that I don't want to pick them back up. These are the books that I haven't DNF'd that I do want to go back to, that I'm really excited for. The first two being Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. So I'm really excited to get back to those. I put down Vengeful just because I love the book and I was in a not so great reading mood when I started it. So I don't want that to color my experience with the book because I love V.E. Schwab's writing. She's hands down one of my favorite authors, and like I didn't want to ruin the experience of reading that book, especially because Victor is one of my favorite characters ever. So I put that down for a little bit, and now I want to kind of pick it back up and finish that out while I'm waiting for whatever her next story comes. And then The Gilded Wolves by Roshni Chokshi, I actually, same reason, put it down because I wasn't really in a reading mood, and then for the month of February, so I wasn't really reading all that much that month, so I haven't really picked it back up despite loving the book. Like, the way that it's written is so great. I love her writing style, I love the characters, and I really, really, really want to get back into it. So those are the two at the top of my currently reading list that I want to finish. I think Only a Monster by Vanessa Lim is also on my list. I actually started reading that during the month that I was supposed to be tackling my TBR from my fairy loot boxes, and I ended up putting it down right before it got to like the really big action part. And that wasn't really, like I said, a flaw in the book. It was just more, it wasn't what I needed at that moment. Which is why I think during the month of March, I ended up reading a lot of like shorter books. Just because I wasn't really in the mood for anything really long. But I still wanted to be reading. So I was reading a lot of like manga and graphic novels and stuff like that. So those are the kind of catch-up books that I want to get to. And then I also, and this is by no means a book that I think I'm going to finish this month because it's massive, and that is Master of Sorrows by Justin Travis Call. I actually saw this book on BookTube from JD Ray Reads, who I love to follow, by the way. And she raves about this book so much that I obviously had to go buy it. It sounds really, really interesting. Again, I'll insert a clip here about me talking about the book because right now my memory is not so great. And I'm also trying to multitask, which just makes this even worse. But I'm really, really looking forward to picking that up. I have been really, really intimidated by high fantasy for a really, really long time, and I kind of wanted to change that. So we'll be changing it with that book. Hopefully it's really, really good and it can, sink my teeth into the genre. That's not to say I haven't read high fantasy before. It's just not something I usually gravitate towards because it usually takes too many brain cells. And when I'm reading, I don't really want to think about it too much. I just want to enjoy the reading process. But yeah, so my TBR is pretty stacked this month. So I'm really, really excited to get to it and kind of try and knock out a few of the things that are on my TBR list. And I realized I just did that in like 10 minutes and barely finished my makeup, so here's hoping that I can finish it really quickly. So I'm gonna take a moment and just kind of like try to finish my eyes, and I'll try and speed this part along so that you don't have to stare at me when I'm not talking. you kind of see behind me every now and then, you see a little cat going by. Yeah, that's Celine. Celine is my muse, so she likes to be involved in these kind of things. So she has been coming in and off screen this entire time. I did finally finish my eyes, so we're just gonna keep moving through the kind of get ready. And I guess I can kind of talk you through what my plans are for today, just so that you have something to listen to other than the fact that I am completely done with my TBR, because I'm actually not trying to read too much this month. I'm really ahead of my Goodreads goal, so I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, especially considering last month was the spring equinox for Aurelium, and I barely managed to scrape through on that. And last month, April, was also Ramadan, so it was just kind of really hard to kind of put any focus on anything reading related, just because obviously it's a month of fasting and you're doing a bunch of other things during Ramadan, so reading just wasn't really like on my list of things to do. I also ended up writing a ton during the month of April, so I was just kind of really leaning into that, especially because I hadn't been writing for a while, so it was kind of really important to me to kind of take that time because I was motivated to write, and whenever that happens, it's really a good idea to actually sit down and do it, considering with me, I sometimes go through like months where I don't have any like ideas, or I struggle. Even like my methods of trying to work through writer's block may not work that month. So I kind of wanted to lean into that and kind of create the habit of writing every day, which meant that I wasn't reading as much. I still enjoyed a lot of the books that I did pick up, so nothing wrong with those there, but I am kind of trying to take the pressure off this month, just because I kind of want to lean more into the writing thing. So hopefully you'll see some more writing content from me this month, because I started working on something kind of new and fresh after doing a month of free writing, which has to do with something very similar to the book that I wrote for my thesis and that I'm currently querying right now. So I'm very excited to have gotten back onto that track and kind of back into that world. So that should be fun to do. I'm just gonna not talk through this face because it's kind of, you know, near my eyeball. Okay, so that mascara did basically nothing. So we're gonna switch to the other one really quickly. This is real life, guys. Y'all can't like make this up. It's such real life. Much better. I've always been like weary about filming something like with doing makeup, only because of the faces that you make when you're trying to put it on. Kind of awkward, but that's okay. But yeah, so my friend Sarah and I are planning on doing a little bit of a productivity sprint kind of day a little bit later today. I might film some of it and just include some of it here. I don't really know. I don't really think that I'm going to be doing too many like vlog-ish type style things, just because it's just not something that's going to relatively fit in with my life, but because I do want to kind of like show the process of writing and what I do with my writing work, that might be something that I include a little bit later. If you don't hear this, then that means I probably included it and just decided to opt out of saying all of this to you, because right now I just feel like I'm rambling since I finished going over my TBR during that first little stint. So that's always fun. A little bit of rambling never hurt anyone, I guess. But yeah, so we're going to be doing that today. I know I have to work on some blogs for the month of May, and actually type up my TBR so that I can remember it a little bit later. So that's on my to-do list. And then I also obviously want to start editing this, and then hopefully the first 2 of the videos that I do want to try and get up before this. So that's on my agenda today. I also have to do a couple errands, which I might just put off until later, when I am not fasting. I can't go the day without writing. I'm kind of currently obsessed with my free writing journal. So much so that I actually have like a bump on my finger, which a lot of writers and artists do end up getting if they do their stuff by hand. So I am really interested in keeping that going while I'm also like trying not to kill my finger. But I think we're gonna just have to see how long that goes, or how well that goes. Indecision. Such indecision. It looks way different on camera than it does in the mirror. So we're having a little bit of an indecisive moment about how I want to finish this off. But anyway, yeah, so we're gonna have a kind of like a productive day together and hopefully get some stuff done. I think she's gonna be working on blogging and stuff too, so that'll be exciting for you to see on her blog coming out. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. We always kind of have fun when we're on Zoom together, just kind of chit-chatting and trying to make it through our day without losing our minds on our own. So that'll be kind of fun. Have anything in your TBR that you're really excited to get to, let Celine and I know in the comments below, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!